Everyone, I'm Sonam Sandhu from PTE Made Easy, and in this session, we are going to focus on 5 secret tips which are working in 2024. So, I know you must be thinking, what secret is it? So, basically, these are the tips which have been used by many learners out there, and these are the tips which have proven effective. So, if you want to score 75 plus in your PTE exam, and that too in your very first attempt, so you should watch this video until the end because I'm pretty sure out of these 5 tips, one or two of the tips are going to be something new for you, or maybe all 5 if you are a beginner. So please watch it carefully until the end, and I'm pretty sure you are going to get your desired scores, be it 75 or 80. Now, what exactly happens? First of all, we are going to look at PT speaking describe image. So basically, describe image is the question in which I will not recommend you to spend a lot of time. I'll simply suggest you to focus on using the template. Simply cram the template, memorize the template, and use it, because you do not get a lot of time for preparation and you do not even get a lot of time for speaking it up. So basically, you get 40 seconds to speak it up and you just get 25 seconds to prepare it. And in the 25-second span, you have to look at the image, you have to prepare the script, you have to decide what you are going to say, and then you have to speak it up properly in 40 seconds timer. So I would suggest you to not spend a lot of time on this particular question type and rather memorize the template. Now, even if you do not feel like memorizing all the 4 templates, you can simply go for this particular template and copy the same with some changes in the other questions as well. So, in the describe image part, we have a process chart, we have flow chart as well, we have some random image, we have bar chart or line graph, or we have a diagram. It can be any of these, okay? We can also get a pie chart or a tabular chart. So you simply need to tell the name of the chart first. For example, the given process chart gives the information about what? It is giving the information about downloading music. Okay, so about downloading music from Tesco Extra. So Tesco Extra, how are you going to download music from Tesco Extra? This is what it is telling. It has multiple steps including purchasing and downloading. So if we look at all the steps, it is clearly a process chart. And if we look at all the steps, we have search, we have purchase, we have download, and we have play. So out of these 4, we are going to simply write 2 of the steps. So it has multiple steps including purchasing and downloading. So basically you have to speak it up. Now what happens? You are going to use the fixed template which is in black color, and you're going to simply fill it up with these. Okay. So downloading music from Tesco Extra. Okay. It has multiple steps including purchasing and downloading. In the initial stage, we can see that the desired music is being searched by the user. So this is being done in the initial step. What is being done? So the desired music, okay, is being searched by the users. In the second step, it can be noticed that the chosen music is purchased. So in the second step, what is happening? So the chosen music is purchased. So firstly, you were searching for a music, you found it, then the chosen music is being purchased. So when it comes to the process chart, write everything in the passive voice. And if you do not know how to do that, for that also I'll create a sample video, and do let me know in the comment section if you want a video on active and passive voice. I'll surely create a video on the same topic that is going to benefit you a lot. Not only in this, it will benefit you in the essay writing part as well, and even in the summarized written text part. So please let me know in the comment section. Okay. Now in the second step, it can be noticed that chosen music is purchased. In the following stage, as in the next step, the same music is being downloaded. In the last step, the song is played and enjoyed by the customers. So in the last step, what is happening? The song is played and enjoyed by the customers. Overall, this is a very easy process chart, okay, or this is a very easy process, and every step is necessary to complete this process. So in 40 seconds, you will not be able to speak anything more than this. Now, what happens when you are going to speak it up? You might miss 1 or 2 sentences in between. So make sure that you keep looking at the image and you do not forget any any particular step in between. So just simply follow the template, the given process chart, this the same template only. But if you're facing problem in questions like such, I'm going to share the link of PTE speaking templates above. You may simply go and check out that. That will help you guys a lot. Now, before we proceed further, now what I was thinking, I want to help you all, and that too by giving you free PT study material as well as my most important tips. So now for that, we have created this WhatsApp group. I would like you all to be a part of that WhatsApp group, and I'm going to share the link in the description. Simply take out the link from the description and join our WhatsApp group. If you want to receive free study material related to PT, and not only free study material, in between, I am going to give you some homework as well. I'll ask you to do one thing or the other. I'll give you some study tips. I'll give you timetable to prepare for the PTE exam. Trust me, clearing the PTE exam in 30 days is possible. It is definitely possible. It is all about using the right strategies and the right person, and that's what I say in every single video of mine. So please follow every tip religiously and start writing effectively. If you face problem anywhere, you simply contact us for the same. The numbers are given below. Now, talking about the tip number two. We have just discussed the tip for describe image. Simply copy the template. Don't spend too much time. That's what I always tell you. Okay. Now coming to the tip number two, and that is related to reorder paragraphs. Okay. So now the second tip is related to reorder paragraphs. I know many of you get confused when it comes to reorder paragraphs, but trust me, it is not a high scoring task. For this particular task, you are going to get maximum of 6 to 7 marks. So there is no point on giving too much or putting in too much efforts for this particular task. Rather, spend only 1 minute and 20 seconds for a question like such. Now, what you're going to do, the first step is to look at the sentences. Simply look at all the four sentences one by one. Now, after this, find an introductory sentence. The sentence which is introducing something, okay? For example, that has been the recipe of private equity groups during the past 200 years. Now, it clearly tells that it is the concluding sentence. So that has been the recipe for private equity groups during the past 200 years. So that means they have already told the recipe. Now they are just referring back to the same. They are just telling you, they are just concluding that has been the recipe for private equity groups during the past 200 years. So what exactly you are going to do? I am going to use the pointer here. I'll use some other color. Okay. Now, this is what? This is the concluding sentence. Okay. So we need to find the introductory sentence, we need to find the concluding sentence, and then we are going to find out the sentences in between. And trust me, it is not going to take more than 1 minute 20 seconds if you practice it on a regular basis. So now next, add some generous helpings of debt, a few spoonfuls of management incentives, and trim all the fat. Okay, leave to cook for 5 years and you have the feast of profits. Okay, so now what happens? It clearly shows that this is the second one and this is referring back to this. Leave to cook for this. Now they have told the recipe, kind of a recipe. Now they are saying do it. Now this is the next step of the recipe. So we can R1, R2. Now take an underperforming company. So now here what are this doing? This is the introductory sentence. Here they are referring to the company. Okay. Take an underperforming company. Okay. Now add some generous helpings of debt, a few spoonfuls of management incentives, and trim all the fat. Leave to cook for. Now, when they have told you something related to the same underperforming company you have taken, now do all these steps. B, that is the second one. So, first, second, okay. Then C, leave to cook for 5 years and you have a feast of profits. Okay. Now, and the fourth one, that has been the recipe of private equity groups during the past 200 years. So, trust me, please do not spend a lot of time on this particular question type. Whenever you're doing it at home, whenever you're practicing, do not spend more than 1 minute and 20 seconds on this question, because it is not going to give you a lot of scores. It is going to give you maximum 6 to 7 scores or 6 to 7 marks. So there is no point putting in so much efforts for this question. So this was my tip number 2. Now coming to tip number 3, and tip number 3 is related to write from dictation. Now the tip number 3 is related to write from dictation. So now here, what exactly happens whenever we do write from dictation, we get confused in some words, we get confused in the sequence of the words used. So it's not about using the particular words, or it's not about using the particular sequence. If you get confused, you can add some extra words. There, the most important thing here is not to commit any spelling mistake. So please take care of the spellings. Do not commit any spelling mistake, and rather focus mainly on using all the words. You can even add the same words again. I'll tell you how. You can add some two different forms of verbs if you were confused which form was used. For example, they use the form learn, and they also use learned. Okay, but you got confused. They use learned, but you do not know whether they use learned or learn. Now you can write both of these. I'll tell you how. So we are going to play the same audio again.
The biology department is dedicated to research activities.
So they clearly mentioned the biology department is dedicated to research activities. Now I heard it correctly, okay? But if you were not able to, so you can simply write biology department, but you were also confused whether it was department or departments. So departments, you did not know whether they use the or a. So you can in the beginning use a as well as the. Okay. So this, in this manner you can do it. So the biology department, okay. But obviously here we have this Grammarly. You're not going to have Grammarly. But we know that they clearly mentioned the biology department refers back to, is dedicated to research activities. So I told you in the beginning, the same was the sentence, but when I was writing it down, I also got confused. So simply whenever you listen to the sentence, write it down directly on the screen. Do not wait. Okay, and do not waste your time in thinking about what exactly they mentioned. So that's what you need to do. The biology department is dedicated to research activities. Now, for example, you were not able to understand whether they use dedicated or designated. So you can write. Now you were not sure whether they use department or departments. You can write both, is and are. Okay. Is dedicated to. Instead of dedicated, you thought it was designated. So you can write designated as well. To research activities. So the biology department is dedicated to research activities. Now what happens? Once you have written everything, you have written all of it, you will know that which one is correct or wrong. Now you start eliminating the odd ones. A biology department, nahi the biology department, because they are talking about a specific department which is dedicated to research activities. So it will be the something proper noun, okay, something which is a special one, a particular one. It is not a random biology department. It is the biology department which is dedicated to research activities. So we got to know that, for example, it was department only. Okay, if you are able to recall it. So simply write is, remove are, because it is biology department, only one department. So we are going to write is dedicated to or designated to. This you are not sure of, you can write both of these, to research activities. So you can write like this. If you're not sure of a particular word, you can use two words. Okay. Now here you have used dedicated and designated. Don't worry about it. But the correct answer is the biology department is dedicated to research activities. Now, don't be confused when it comes to all this. Simply write it down. Focus on the content. Focus on the spellings. Okay. Do not use any wrong spelling. And if you get confused in spellings, so please prepare the vocabulary notebook. notebook. So I'm also going to share a video on the same, and that will help you a lot in improving your vocabulary as well as spellings. I have also created one for the same. You're going to get that soon. Okay. Now, this is all about rights from dictation. It is not about the extra number of words, it is about the correct spelling and the correct content. If even if you have added some more words, it's okay. There is no problem. It's okay. But it's not like this, the number of words are 7 and you have added 14. So that's not the point. It's only about adding one or two words. And still, I would recommend the more you practice, the better your understanding of this will be. The more you practice, the more the marks you will get for this particular thing. Okay, the more the chances of correct answers as well. So please take care of this thing. Now proceeding further to the fourth tip. Now talking about the fourth tip, and the fourth tip is collocations are important. If you do not know what collocations are, you are going to stuck somewhere or the other. You will face problem in one part or the other. So please focus on collocations. Now what are collocations? Try to understand. Collocations are basically the words which are often used together. For example, we'll use some adverb with verb. Okay, so collocation. I'll also give you an example based on the basis of this. Now, if you look at this, what is collocation? When it comes to if there is a helping verb, so we'll get a verb afterwards. For example, they have used was. So we'll use a verb after was. Okay. Be it she was, for example, mumbling, or it was taken. So we'll get a verb afterwards. So take care of this. Okay. Now, before a verb, there will be an adverb. Okay. So for example, the verb has been used. So you're going to get adverb before the verb. Now, if a verb has been used, you are going to use a noun after verb. She was doing her work. It was taken by her. She was mumbling. Okay, softly. Up here, we can also get adverb afterwards. So that we need to see on the basis of the sentence, and I'll tell you how. So for example, we have a noun. So we can get an adjective also before a noun. That totally depends on the demand of the sentence. Okay. So for articles, we are going to use ठीक है, for singular thing. If we have any singular thing, we'll either use a or an. Please take care of this. If the word is starting with a vowel sound, we'll use an. And we are going to use the only when we have something proper, some proper noun or something important. Okay. Now let us proceed further and let us look at one of the questions. So on the basis of this question, I'm going to explain you what collocations are and why collocations are important. Now let's look at this one. For example, we have this fifth one. Okay. Researchers already know that spending long periods of time in a zero gravity. Now we have all the options here. We got to know that they are talking about zero gravity. Zero gravity is what? It is an adjective here. Okay, it has been used as an adjective. Adjective phrase है ये. It is an adjective phrase. So, researchers already know that spending long periods of time in a zero gravity dash, such as that inside the international space. So, zero gravity is an adjective. What comes after adjective? I told you in the beginning that after adjective, we get a noun. So, zero gravity what? Now we need to find a noun. Okay. Space is a noun, zero gravity space. Capped is not a noun, restricted is not a noun, spending is not a noun, environment. Okay. So either environment or space. So let us read it further. Researchers already know that spending long periods of time in zero gravity dash, such as that inside the International Space Station. Okay, so they have already talked about International Space Station. So zero gravity environment. Okay, results in loss of bone density and dash to body's muscle. So what happens? It results in loss of bone density and dash to body's muscles. Loss होता है bone density का और क्या होता है body muscle को. Results in dash and damage to body muscles. Okay. We need something here now. Loss. We have loss here. Loss to bone density. So it is a noun here. We'll also get a noun here. Dash to body's muscles. कुछ चीज हो रही है. Something is happening to the body muscles. So some noun will come. So we have space and damage here. So we are going to use damage. And damage to space to body muscles cannot be the answer. It is not making any sense. So damage will be the answer. Damage to the body's muscle. That's partly why stays abroad. Okay, that's partly why stays abroad. The ISSR dash at 6 months. Okay, that's partly why the ISSR dash at 6 months. Now, ISSR what? Are helping verb. What comes after helping verb? I have clearly mentioned in the beginning. Okay. After helping verb, you are going to get a verb. So please take care of this thing. This is very important thing. Helping verb. After helping verb comes verb. After adverb comes verb. After verb comes noun. After adjective comes. Now, that's partly why stays. Okay, abroad the ISSR. जो लोग abroad रहते हैं, the ISSR dash at 6 month cap. मतलब कि उन्हें वापस बुला लिया जाता है, उन्हें रोज दिया जाता है, ठीक है, कैप ओनली फॉर 6 months they can stay there. And now a number of NASA astronauts are reporting that their 2020 vision faded after dash time in space. Okay, after time in space. After what? After spending time in space. Time is a noun. Before noun, verb will come after spending time in space. Okay, so you have to do it like such. Please try to guess the word form. And I have already told you the collocation. This is the collocation combination. After helping verb, some verb will come. After adverb, some verb will come. After verb, some noun will come. After adjective, some noun will come. So you just need to take care of these four things. And when you're doing it, please read it carefully. And these are the answers: environment, damage, cap, spending. Now you must be thinking, ma'am, you must have done this before, that's why you knew. But no, guys, it is about the collocations we are going to take care of. It is about the word form. If you know which word form is going to come into the blank, you will get to know the correct answer. And once you are doing it, you just read it again. After filling in the correct option, read it again to know whether it makes sense or not. Okay. So this is what you have to do. So this was the fourth tip here. Okay. Now proceeding further to the last one and the fifth tip. And that is like using grammar for listening module. Now I always say you should use grammar for listening module as well. Now whenever you do fill in the blanks of listening module, what happens? You get confused. You do not know which particular verb form will be used. Okay. So there I'll suggest you to use the grammar rules, and I'll tell you how. For example, let's take this.
Almost everyone has heard of the London Stock Exchange, but relatively few know anything about the London Metal and Commodity Exchanges. Yet these markets have a greater influence on world economies because they set global prices for some of the essential raw materials for industry and food manufacture. The LME provides three basic services to the world's non-ferrous metal trade. First, it is a market where large or small quantities of metal of a guaranteed minimum standard can be bought and sold on specific trading days. Second, it acts as a barometer of world metal prices. And third, it is a hedging medium. That is, it can help traders get some protection from price fluctuations that occur for economic, political or financial reasons.
Now I was able to hear it correctly and I did all the questions. Okay, I missed one. Yeah. So, but what happens when you're going to do it? You would not know what word form is going to come. So it's better if you judge the word form before, and that you have to do very quickly. Almost everyone has heard of the London Stock Exchange, but dash few. So what is few here? Few is an adjective, okay? As a determiner, it has been used. But very few or relatively few. So they said relatively few. I knew something else is going to come. Some adverb is going to come. So relatively few know anything about the London metal and commodity exchanges. Yet these markets have a greater dash. Now greater is what? Greater is used as an adjective. So we'll get a noun here. Greater influence on world economies because they set global prices for some of the essential raw materials for industry and food dash. Now, what is going to come here? Industry and food. Raw materials for industry and food dash. Some noun is going to come here. Let us look at the answer. We'll get to know. Okay, yeah. So what did they use? Some food manufacture. Okay. So food manufacture. So they clearly mentioned a noun. The LME provides three basic services to world's non-ferrous metal trades. First, it is a market where large or small. Now they have clearly mentioned adjective. Okay, large or small. Now what will come? Some noun will come. Quantities of metal. Noun. And third, it is a hedging medium that is. It can help traders get some protection from price fluctuations that occur for economic, political. Now we know they have already used two adjectives. Economic, political. Now what will come? Or financial reasons. Okay. So some adjective is going to come only here. Now, this is the way you are going to do listening fill in the blanks as well. So, these were the 5 secret tips of 2024. And if you do not use these tips, you'll not be able to score well. So, please focus on these 5 tips, and I'm pretty sure you'll get your desired scores. So these are the 5 working tips of 2024. So basically, these are not just the tips which can be used for 2024. These actually were used in 2023 as well. So these are the universal tips which help all the learners and which has helped many learners. So until today for scoring 80 plus marks. So I would suggest you all to follow these things religiously, and I'm pretty sure you'll get your desired scores. So apart from this, if you need any further assistance in reading or in writing, even in speaking practice, you can simply contact us on the numbers given below. And if you want me to create a video on some other topic, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again in the next video of mine. Bye bye until then, and such.